Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, but I wanted to address a couple issues I had with my body, my shoulder, my back, my knees, my elbows. Yeah, all these injuries that I've accumulated over the years since high school were kind of stopping me from giving 100% when I was trying to paddle up, and addressed a lot of those issues. Did a lot of dryland training that I specifically worked on for muscles pertaining to the paddle up. If we can get up today, I'll make a separate video just on those specific exercises, because I really wanted to isolate certain muscles in my shoulders, my back, my glutes, my core stabilizers to really get a powerful paddle. I came across a quote from a mathematician, Michael Faraday. He made some significant breakthroughs on electromagnetism, but anyways, this quote got me thinking. It says, everything in existence is based on exact proportions and perfect relationships. There's nothing in nature that is left to chance, because mathematics at the highest level lies as the foundation of all things. So I was just thinking, like, how can we gain an edge in getting up on this foil? And I was thinking, okay, let's try to think about like the math behind it. So we already understand how the foil works. So it's Bernoulli's principle, with the speed going over the foil, low pressure on the top, high pressure on the bottom causes lift. So how do we connect that paddle and apply mathematics to getting up on foil? And I was thinking, okay, so let's look at Isaac Newton's laws of motion, and in particular the second law, which is F, which is force equals mass times acceleration. So if while I'm paddling I can have less mass, then I can use less force and I can move faster. So I think a lot of it has to do with the timing of my leg kick. Like when I pump up, I really have to extend the paddle, get that in the water, and start pulling when the board isn't in the water. So I'm really trying to get utilize that foil flying and pull to help that foil to fly. And we all understand that mass really slows things down. It creates more friction, less speed. So we really want speed going over that foil. So how do we achieve that with the paddle? Well, we have to get that paddle in the water and start pulling, engaging that paddle when there's the least amount of mass on the board. Okay, so enough talk. This is sort of the thing that I want to think about in order for me to connect with that foil, really to understand the anatomy of how things are working. And once you do that, and once I do that at least, then I can really feel that engaging in my body. And if I can kind of understand what's happening with the mechanics of it all, then I could really feel that foil. Okay, so enough talk, let's do this. All right, so prior to every outing, I do about a 15-20 minute warm-up with stretches. So it's really important to stretch. And that was really a big part of my dryland training, is really stretching to help heal a lot of these tight muscles. A lot of my back problems and my shoulder problems were due to tight muscles. So highly recommend seeing a professional to help out with those matters if you've got any. I'm gonna quickly go out and just work on the leg pumping to warm up, to sort of get that muscle memory going in the system. Well, that wasn't easy. All those, we just got, it must have been a big boat that passed a while back, caused all that, these swells to come in. Hopefully it won't happen too frequently, because it makes it really hard to paddle up, especially at the level that I'm at right now. Okay, we'll wait till some of these little waves go away. Alright, one of the things I wanted to share is I moved my mast up. I was watching at the previous outings footage and I noticed that, you know, this porpoising, because my mast was so far back, felt like there was this porpoising, and it might have been like hindered my my progress of getting up on foil. So I moved my mast up to the number 4, and I find that this foil, this 1880 APF, for my weight at 80 kgs or about 175 pounds, it causes too much lift. It has so much lift. I think for someone my weight, I think going with a smaller foil, 1500 square centimeters, might be a better fit. So what I did on the tail was I put 2 red shims. So Armstrong comes with kind of a stock 1 degree lift, so it just helps you lift a little easier. So that, in addition with this 1880 front foil and my lighter weight, is really causing a lot of lift, I found. So I did put 1 red shim, which is a 1 degree shim, which negates that stock lift, and I even found that that wasn't enough, so I put in another red shim. So now we have 2 degrees. Hopefully you know, it negates a little bit of that lift because I moved that mast further up the track, and we all know that gives even more lift. So there's just so much lift with this setup, and I almost feel like it's too much. So I put 2 red shims on the back, and well, we'll see how it goes. Alright, I'm just trying to get comfortable with getting, like, when I come down onto the board, applying the appropriate amount of pressure so that the nose doesn't sink into the water too much. I'm finding with moving the mast up a little bit, maybe my foot placement is a little bit different, I don't know, but I'm sinking that nose a little bit too much. It's always, you really have to control the pitch of the nose at every point during the paddle up, because if it's too high, then you stall. If it goes into the water, then you're really slowing yourself down. The key is we want to get a lot of speed. I do one more leg warm-up. All right, I think we're ready to incorporate a little bit of intermittent paddling. So I'm gonna do a couple in between every other leg pump. I'll put a paddle in, and the key is I want to really get that paddle in the water and pulling while I have the least amount of weight on the board. So again, we're applying that Isaac Newton's second law, which includes mass. So we want less mass, and we want to maximize our pulling power on that paddle. So after I jump, I'm really gonna try to get that paddle out in front and start pulling to maximize that speed generation. Okay, that felt pretty good. I feel like my balance is slightly off when I'm doing that. I feel like I'm a little bit too toe side. So I'm gonna do that again and try to get my balance more down the middle of the board. tide is going out. So I have to slowly bring the camera further into the ocean. I'm still finding that I'm going a little bit too heavy toe side. So I'm gonna do another, I might have to adjust my feet or my hip placement or something. Because once I start really aggressively going, just paddling with my leg pumps, I really want to be in a balanced position. Well, that felt good. I felt more balanced. What did I do? I think I moved my right leg, which is my forward leg because I stand goofy, further to the right and opened up my stance. And I also, my left knee, my back knee, when I was bending it, I was pressing it not just down, but forward. I'll show you. It's tricky to do it here just because these little swells coming in are hitting me from the side and really throwing me off balance. But I can't describe it to you. Let me quickly take the camera, describe what I did. So instead of just going down like this, I brought my back leg forward. Bringing that back knee forward really helped with keeping my balance in the middle of the board rather than going more toe side. So I felt that my body just intuitively did that, like just trying to balance things out. I did shift my right leg, my forward leg, further to the edge of the board, and then again that knee movement really helped. Yeah, I think I'm gonna move this camera just because the way the waves are coming in, I think this is a better spot. I don't know if you can tell, but the water's it's turning murkier and greener, which means that it's warming up. And I'm gonna have to switch to probably a 2mm, or maybe not even have a wetsuit at one point. All right, I know that looks like a Canada goose in the water just over there, but it's actually just a log floating around. All right, I think I'm gonna start incorporating everything and trying to get up on foil. 30 minutes in, good little warm up. Wish me luck. right, as you can see, I'm slapping, and I can feel the foil engaged. It's just as I'm coming up further and further out of the water, as I do my leg pump, I don't think I have enough speed. I think my nose is coming up too early. I'm trying to take off too early, which is causing the stall. I think I have to keep pumping and gaining more speed before I start trying to get that nose out of the water. I think I'm getting ahead of myself because that nose comes up and I'm not able to get ahead of it and start pulling. So I think I have to do a couple more pumps, slapping just the board onto the water, gaining more and more speed before I start initiating that lift. Yeah, I'm just losing balance. But I'm slapping and I feel that foil engaging, and I feel like I'm starting to get out in front of it. What I mean by that is I feel like after I do my leg kick, my paddle is extending out and I'm pulling before my weight comes back down onto the board. I think it's just there's like a little something that I'm missing, and I think it has to do with my leg pump. Might be a timing issue, I'm not sure. All right, I'm slapping. I think we've been kind of at this point before. I'm playing around with my paddle length because I have an adjustable paddle. I'm gonna try shortening it a bit. Maybe that'll help me get lower, and maybe if I get lower, my leg kick will be more substantial.
All right, that was another good one. Hey, you can see I was up. I probably just needed a couple good paddles and leg kicks and I would have been going. But I kind of freaked out. And I guess it was the first time my body experienced that flight at this stage. Like obviously I've been able to fly without the paddle, but my body kind of went, whoa, now what? Because it just felt awkward because I was a little bit higher, which meant I had to be a little bit more extended to get the paddle into the water. And yeah, my brain just stalled. It was funny. Anyways, hopefully we learned from that. My brain's like, okay, I know what it feels like. Let's try this again. I think what happened there is I'm so conscious of my paddling, my leg kicking technique is falling apart. Something going on with, I think, the positioning of my hips, or the way my hips are moving with my legs. I could feel my technique starting to break down once I start really getting that cadence up. I think I'm leaning a little bit too far forward, trying to get too much of a reach, and that's throwing my balance a little bit too far toe side. So I'm not going to try to reach as far forward with. All right, my GoPro turned off because it got too hot. It's not even that hot today. It's not even 20 degrees yet outside. But it turned off. And apparently GoPro is going bankrupt. I don't know if it's true, but their CEO is paying himself something like over $400 million a year. I don't know, so they're going bankrupt. Surprise, surprise. I'll be looking for an alternative to GoPro in the near future. But let's move on. It overheated, I've turned it back on. Good thing I didn't get up on foil the last attempt, or I would have been really mad. But we still have, I think, about 25 minutes left, 25% I mean. So we're gonna keep going. Ran out of water. I'm coming too close to the shoreline. That was pretty good. Man. It's a good thing I've been doing a little dryland training because it's helping with the endurance. I think I'm gonna up my dryland training just so that every time I come out I can go a little bit longer and have more endurance, because I could feel that that my body's beginning to tire. Uh, let's take a moment and just reflect. I haven't been able to fly, like paddle up, pump, and then just get 3 clean leg pumps. But I mean, look at this beautiful thing out on the water in a major city, but nobody's on the water. Incredible. And it's free. You just need to get the gear. But you can get gear online used these days for pretty cheap, so it is a difficult sport to learn for sure. But you know, I'm out here playing in the water, and I might not get up on foil with 3 clean leg pumps today, but I feel like I'll get it. But in the meantime, I got to take these moments and just appreciate the beauty of where I am. So hopefully while you guys are out as well, don't get too frustrated, because in the end, what are you doing? You're getting healthy, you're getting fit, you're connecting with the water, you're lifting up your spirit. I think that's what sometimes we lose touch with when we think about attaining goals too much. All right, let's go again. The weather's so nice. And I think I still have a couple more attempts in me. So I'm gonna switch out the battery. All right, we're back, full battery. I also made a small adjustment. I took out one of the red shims and replaced it with a blue shim. So we, instead of 2 red shims, we have a red and a blue. So we're at 1.5 degree. And in actuality, we're at 0.5 degree because the red shim just negates the stock lift off the tail. All right, let's go. I was flying. But I don't know if I stalled because there's these little ripples that throw me off, or it was because I saw it was coming close to the camera and I stopped. I don't know. Keep talking about going to another location where it's just completely flat. It's just maybe next time. Almost had it. I'm gonna start my higher frequency leg kick and pump and paddle a little sooner so I have a little bit more room before I get to the camera. Ever had the balance? now we have all this debris coming in from here. Okay, I think I can call it a day. Well, we're kind of stuck at that same place, right? Where we're up on, where we're starting to initiate flight, but it's just a matter of continuing the paddles while in balancing, doing the leg kicks. So thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna do a lot more dry land training just to get my upper body a little bit stronger, the technique of the paddle, working on the core, and also just getting rid of all those niggling injuries. But if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll come out with another one, and maybe attempt number 10 will be the one. All right, we'll see you out in the water.